Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to do an oil change on the Destroyer. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to do an oil change, and I know it's a pretty simple thing, but I looked up 2019 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack 1320 and I did not see a video on it. I know there's Scat Pack videos and it's pretty much the same, but wanted to do one for the 1320 owners specifically. So what do we need to get started? Well, we're going to need a 10 millimeter. We're going to need a 13 millimeter. The 10 millimeters for taking the plastic cover off the bottom of your car, 13 millimeters for the drain plug, and an oil filter wrench, since this is a stock filter I'm taking off, a reservoir to hold your oil, then some new oil. I went with AMSOIL, and a new filter. I went with the Wix XP. If you need information, I can leave a link below or reach out to me. Alright, let's get started. So with the new Mopars, and I think most manufacturers, you can find out what type of oil your engine needs just by looking at the cap. If you look at the cap where you fill your oil, it should say right on there what you need so you get the right oil. So to begin, we have to get underneath the car. I got a little mat down here because the concrete's not too nice to my back. We got to get under the car, and we're going to locate the first two 10 millimeter bolts. So there's one, and there's two. We'll get those loosened, and then we'll move on to the back section. Right there's one, and right over there is the second one. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all four of those and pull out the cover, and we'll take a look at the cover, and then we'll take a look under the car. Stay tuned. So I was able to get all four out successfully, and this is what it'll look like before you pull the cover. Now if you look, there's a little finger hole right here that you can pull back and slide out the cover. Sorry, it's pretty bright outside. So you can slide out your cover. Let's take a look. Yeah, we got some dust and some yuck. But the interesting thing about these cover tells you what you need to torque the four bolts that hold this cover on. Now, judging by that right there and that right there, whoever put these on did not follow that. And this right here, if your oil filter is leaking, you will notice a drip straight out of here. So, good thing to note. Alright, I'm going to get at it. Well, actually, hold on. Let's just go right back under the car and take a look now that I have the cover off. Alright. Sorry for the bright light. Okay. So now we're crawling under the car. This is what we're looking for right here. Oil drain plug, 13 millimeter. And then let's keep looking around. Kind of inspect everything, and it's pretty easy with the camera because I don't have the car jacked up at this point. Kind of do a visual inspection of all your boots, all of everything. Make sure you don't have any tears, any oil leaks. There's our oil filter. That's going to get changed out. Look farther over by the tires here. Boots still look pretty good. Let me go check this side. Alright, so the steering boots look good. Alright, I think we're looking pretty good. No unnecessary leaks or spots. So, I'm going to go ahead and put my pan under there and pull the oil plug. Now what I always do is loosen the cap on the top. Just something I've always done since I learned how to change oil. But I'll be right back, guys. Thank you. Okay, one other note. make sure you set your screws completely away from the car. Years ago, back when I had my first Challenger, my RT Classic, I took off that cover. One of them rolled behind the tire, and I backed the car up because I didn't have enough room to slide under it, and shoved the bolt right in the tire. So don't do that. All right, let's take a look and see how the progress is going. See if all this stuff is done dripping. Yep, we're almost done. So I'm gonna wait till that's done dripping. I'm gonna put the plug back in. And I looked it up. The plug torque on it is 20 foot-pounds. Now, that's what the manual says. For me, I usually go with the German spec, which is good and tight. So, just one of those things I've always done. I'm gonna keep doing it that way. Never had an issue. I got my oil set up here. I'm gonna try and manhandle this filter off there. I realized my filter wrench is not the correct size. The previous cars I had a smaller filter for some reason. But I'm gonna go ahead and rock and roll. I'll be right back. So when changing your oil filter, make sure that this little gasket right here is on the filter. I've seen it where that gasket sticks to the block, and then you put the other one on and it ends up leaking because it has a double gasket. And then when you're reinstalling this, I always prime it, put some oil inside here, and then I lube the ring around the outside before I install the filter. Just another little tip. So I've drained the oil out. I've changed the filter, put the new filter back in, primed the filter, made sure the old gasket wasn't stuck to the block. Now it's time to refill. Now I went with AMSOIL, the 0W40 full synthetic. Just one of those things where I wanted to try and get the best I can, knowing how hard I beat this car. And I know everybody has opinions on oil, but from a lot of drag race buddies, this is the stuff they stick with. So that's what I'm going with. If there's anything else you guys add, additive or anything like that besides just AMSOIL or whatever your favorite oil is, leave it down in the comments. I love to hear everybody's different ideas. By the way, this does take 7 quarts. That's because I'm changing the oil filter. And be sure you always check right before the end of that last quart. Check your dipstick. All right, I'm going to get to filling this up. The last portion of this is to reset your oil light. Now, in my last car, I couldn't do it through the menu. So what you had to do is press your ignition button to the run position. Do not start the car. Turn down your music. And then you depress the pedal 3 times within 10 seconds, and it'll reset. The other way you can do it, which is the way I'm going to do it, is go into your menu, press down until you get to vehicle info, coolant temp, oil life. So as you can see, my oil life was at 50%. If I press and hold the OK button, now it's at 100%. Then go ahead and turn off the car. Next time you start it, you're good to go. You're back to 100% on your oil life. Thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to click the subscribe button if you like these videos. Click the bell if you really like them. And if you want a shirt, head on over to my Teespring store. I'll leave a link in the description below. I got some pretty funny ones out there. Go ahead and take a look. Thanks, guys.